All right, here we are. I think we're live. Give me a second to refresh my YouTube so I can see everyone. If YouTube wants to refresh, it always takes a few tries. Come on, YouTube. There we go. All right. I am using StreamYard tonight, so I'm going to be a little blurry. I'm sorry. But the reason I'm doing that is because I have a whole panel of guests who are going to come on and chit chat with everyone. It's going to be an awesome time. So, hi everyone who's in chat. Hi Catnit, Gulf Coast Girl, how you doing? Happy Hippie, Grace Naomi, always nice to see you. Andrew, good evening. Gemcat, Little Lady Di, Manuela D. Osser, Chelsea Diaz, Daisy, Jan McNutt. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because I'm glad you're here and the world has not ended yet. Although I gave it till midnight tonight, so midnight Central Time. So we have a few more hours to get through. So tonight we're going to have a fun chat. We're going to have a party. You see, we got fireworks in the background. We're having a celebration because if the world is going to end in the next 6 hours, we may as well have some fun. So that's what we're going to do. I do have some guests backstage, and they're all going to come out and say hi. You can meet some of my mods. You can meet some people in the community who just want to come and say hi and chit chat about the case and everything else that's going on in the world. Also, later tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so set your clocks or whatever, Paul is going live over on his channel. So we'll all be there in chat to cheer him on because he wants to mark the end of the world too, because this is a monumentous event. Monumentous. The world is ending or something. All right, so let's see. Hi, Jojo. Hi, Butterfly. Hi, Kavita. How are you doing? Marilyn Landis says hair and makeup look great. Thank you. You can't really see my eyeshadow look, I don't think, on this camera. But I did a very bold, glittery eyeshadow because I wanted to be celebratory. But it doesn't really come off on camera, unfortunately. But I did my best, you know. Hi, Chris. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing, Lisa? Happy Hippie, Kathleen Curtis, Cynthia Garden Gibson. Always nice to see you. Crystal Harmony. Hi, guys. So we are going to have some giveaways tonight in chat. Um, there's no structure. I'm not doing a game or contest or anything. But as we go throughout the night, whenever I catch a comment that really catches my attention, you'll see it pop up on the screen. And the first 3 people that have that, I have prizes to give away. So I'll be giving away an Amazon gift card, an Ulta gift card for people who are makeup obsessed like me, and a T-shirt from my Teespring account of your choosing. So whichever logo you want, whatever size, color, style, etc. So that'll be fun because if the world's gonna end, I may as well give away some stuff, right? Because I don't need it. I guess I don't know. But anyway, how are you all doing? Did you all have a good end of the world day? Let me check up on chat and see who's here. Party time looking good. Thanks, Lori. It's good to see you here. Leanne, how are you doing? You have the perfect voice for narrating. Thank you. Maybe someday I'll do that. I would like to kind of do voiceovers or audiobooks or something. That'd be fun. Oh, look at Scott. Thank you so much for the super chat. I love that sticker. Big thumbs up. Scott will be coming on panel soon, so y'all get to say hi to him and get to meet him in person, as it were. Feeding it. Hi, how are you? You're still working? That's terrible. That's not fun at all. Liz is playing Fallout 4 after the end of the world. Excellent. That is one of my favorite games of all time. I have spent hundreds of hours in Fallout 4, so that's fantastic. We'll have to talk about that. Maybe we'll do a Fallout 4 stream together. That'd be cool. Except you can't do that multiplayer. That's too bad. Snap out of it says, love your end of the world. Look, thanks. Figured might as well go out in style to full glam. Shar's making herself a cocktail. Excellent. Excellent. So there was no news in the Vallow Daybell case today, thankfully, because I was too busy preparing for this and doing other stuff to work on news videos today. So nothing new to report, which is good because we can just talk about everything we already know. There's plenty to talk about in this case. Sharsha wants to know who has snacks. I didn't bring any snacks because I'm dieting. Maybe somebody has snacks, though. I'm sure somebody brought some. Sincerity is a hairstylist at Ulta. Yay! Ulta's my jam. I like Ulta. Yep, refresh your page if you have any audio issues or anything. Sharon Hoffman, hello. Happy 4th. Happy 4th. Happy end of the world. That's right. It's not the 4th of July, but I like fireworks for celebration. So that's what we got tonight. It's going to be fun. All right. So let's get started with some of our guests. They're eagerly waiting backstage, and I've talked to them all privately. So these are people that I know. Some of them are my mods, but they work very hard to make this community a welcoming place for everyone. So we might as well say hi. So first, I'm going to bring on Jess Nelson. Here's Jess. Hello, Jess. How are you doing?
Hey everybody. I'm good.
Jess is one of the mods here. She's also a mod on Paul's channel. She's a true crime viewer who's been in this community since it started. So, how was your end of the world day, Jess?
I'm still here, but if Jesus comes back, I'm gone all one. I just want you to know.
And if Jesus comes back and takes you, can I have your makeup collection?
Yes, because
all right,
Jesus
there we go.
loves you, but I'm his favorite.
That's fine. And also, Jess and I have matching mugs. I showed you this in one of my weight loss videos. She got this for each of us. Mine says Awin and hers says Jess, because we have to have matching mugs because we're sisters. So there you go.
Shoot, can you imagine one mama couldn't have handled us?
I know. Yes, we had to be separated at birth because we would have drove any one mother absolutely to drink or something. Oh. Sincerity has a terrible thunderstorm coming in. Be careful. Make sure you stay safe. Okay, so this is Jess, and a lot of you know her from chat because she's moderating. She's also all around Discord. So now you get to see her in person. And next, I'm going to bring up another mod. This is Stormy with a Chance of Rainbows. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, Ewan. How are you?
Oh, Stormy's lagging a little bit. She's coming to us from Ireland, so we're a second to connect there. There we go. Can you hear us, Stormy?
Can you get me?
Yep, I heard you now. There we go.
There we are now. There we are now. How are you?
We're excellent. How was your end of the world day?
Well, I woke up and I got out of bed and the sky was falling and I went, ah! And that was it. Yeah. Everything was fine. Yeah, I waited all day for the end of the world to come and it just didn't. So the housework needs to get done now because I said, why bother?
So sad, so sad. We're all going to have to clean tomorrow. I'm just reading chat. Sorry, I don't mean to get quiet, but I want to keep up on the comments. All right, next up, I'm going to bring another new mod. She has just joined our mod team last night. She's a great friend of the channel, and you've probably all seen her around on chat. Her name is Kathy. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody. Yay. Oh, boy, this is nerve-wracking.
I see Frodo's foot is gone.
Yeah, I don't know where he went. Frodo. You know how Paul has his Roscoe? Mm-hmm. We have a Frodo. Don't just sit there and look at me. Never mind. He's just going to sit there and look at me.
He won't come on now that we're live, right?
No, of course not.
Mm-hmm. So how was your end of the world day over there?
Oh, it was just peachy waiting to come on here. And I took a shower.
There you
go. I want y'all to know that's a big deal. I'm like the most boring person to talk to ever, but I took showers, so go me.
Yeah. You get a gold sticker today.
Excellent. And here comes Scott. Scott is a very active member in the community. You've all seen him around chat. He's now in Discord, and now he's going to come on the live and say hi too. Hello, Scott.
Hi, guys. How we doing?
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm alive. The world's still here. I've got nothing to complain about.
Excellent. How was your end of the world day?
You know, it was all right considering the end of the world. All things good to go.
How is your puppy doing? Your puppy had to go to the vet this morning, huh?
You know, she's a little bit closer to normal. Still shaking her head like mad and digging at the ears, but she's doing good. A little like Peanut's back, you know. Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing good. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. So everyone in chat say hello to Stormy and Jess and Kathy and Scott. And, you know, a lot of times we don't put faces to all the names that we get to know in chat. And it's really nice to be able to do that, to realize we're all real people. And we're all here because we all want the same thing right now, which is justice for JJ and Tylee. and
Here, here.
everyone else involved in this case. So we're all here to sort of celebrate. And even though we're kind of poking fun at it by doing an end of the world live stream, which clearly is not happening, but you got to take the fun where you can in cases like this that are really dark. So tonight is about celebrating life, having gratitude that the world did not end, and we're all here together, and we can share this journey together. So I really appreciate everyone for coming. So, not to get too personal or stalkery, but where are y'all from? I mean, I know, but people in chat might not.
I'm going to let ladies go first.
Chicken.
So I'm right below Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, I'm right outside of Albany, New York.
And I am in the beautiful Crystal County of Washford in Ireland.
We're all jealous.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
And I am in Naples, Florida.
And I am in Texas. So
I'm
we've
jealous.
got the world represented here. We've got different time zones, different countries. Man, but yeah, we're all together because of this case. So what do you think of what's happened this week? The first big thing is a motion to ban the cameras from the courtroom, at least for the preliminary hearings. What do y'all think about that, Jess?
Bad idea.
Bad idea?
Yeah, because I'm nosy.
Yeah, because you're nosy.
I agree with
I want
Jess.
to hear it all. I want to hear it. I wanted to hear all of the Patrick Crazy case, and we didn't. And I think, as a taxpayer, it's the people's courtroom. If they don't think they can get a fair trial, they need to move it.
Mhm.
I mean, there's got to be somebody underneath a rock somewhere with all everybody's being quarantined. Not everybody knows about this. I
Right.
mean, we all do. Like, we know it backwards and forwards. But if you just ask a normal, non-crazy person on the street, a lot of people don't know about the case. So
Right.
I think it should be open.
I agree. Anna, what do you think?
I actually agree with no cameras, personally. I do not want to change it in any way, shape, or form. I don't want any threat of prior prejudice. I seriously don't want them to have any out in any manner, shape, or form. So yeah, I'm for suppressing cameras and just having transcripts, personally. Am I nosy as hell? Oh, hell yes. I want to know what's going on in there, but I'm happy if it means they are away for the rest of their lives and for us to find out after the fact everything that happened. And I'm sure that's the case of what will happen.
Yep, absolutely agreed. Kathy, do you have any thoughts on the cameras?
I think we should have cameras. I don't think that if you're going to have a transcript, people are going to know what happened anyway, unless they redact it so much that, why bother even doing a transcript? So I don't think the camera's going to hurt. It hasn't hurt in other cases. I don't think it's going to hurt in this one.
Mm-hmm. And Scott, what do you think about the cameras?
It's a conundrum. Sitting and listening to the others here, I got to agree with Stormy. If there's any chance whatsoever this is going to taint the trial and cause a retrial, I've got to stand behind it. Ron Wood's doing it for a reason, However, much like Kathy just said too, if it's a public forum, it's a public courtroom, and people have a right to know what's going on, and what's being said. But I want to see these people go away. I mean, I really, really do. And if that means that we all got to sit and read and listen to transcripts, well, then so be it. Let's hope that the real trial itself has cameras.
Televised, yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That
I'll tell you what, I'll give up the time.
I would gladly give up the prelim to be able to watch the trial down the road.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let them nail the coffins, get it all set, and and go from there. I'm just hoping no plea bargains, no anything like that. I really do. So
Yep, I agree.
I got to kind of stand behind it. I think they're doing it for a reason, and let's hope that reason works out.
Yep, I agree with everyone, and it's like you said, it's a conundrum. On one hand, it is the people's court. We are taxpayers. We do have a right to public proceedings. These are public proceedings. They're not being sealed. They're not closed hearings. So if you're not going to let people in the courtroom, then you need to live stream it. That sounds fair. But on the other hand, I also totally agree that Ron Wood, if he thinks this will ensure a proper trial, that she's not going to have room for appeal, then do it. But man, I want in that courtroom so bad because I want to know what they're going to say. But that's the big thing that came out.
What's the benefit of not live streaming the actual trial?
I don't know.
The preliminary thing. What's the benefit? Look at Scott Peterson. We've never seen that trial. Mm-hmm. And now it's up for an appeal.
Right. I mean, I don't see what the point is, because
the jury pool, they've already been seated. Yeah. So I don't get it.
And if they're going to release audio and transcripts anyway, what's video going to make different about that? And if Rob is afraid, well, maybe they'll show video on the news, on the nightly news, so everyone will see it. Well, they're going to talk about it anyway. They'll just do drawings or something. So I don't really see the big benefit to pulling cameras out. But then again, I don't know. Maybe Rob Wood knows a lot we don't. So.
Oh, hey, when you make a good point. Public's public. If you're going to do transcripts and you're going to do audios, might as well throw the visual in there. Maybe it's a matter of everything happening right at the time. Do you know what I mean? Like real time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his issue. He doesn't want anything out there that's real time. He'd rather wait and let things get done in the courtroom, then release.
And then
let the public react. And
then redact everything, and then have a plea bargain like we have seen in other cases, and we don't find out anything.
I don't think he'll take a plea. I really don't. I think he has enough to.
He can still offer a plea. They've had enough, and I'm going to bring it up. I don't like to, but I'm going to. But in the devil's case, and Awen knows who I'm talking about, they had enough to go to trial, but they plea bargained, and now he's sitting in jail. And we don't know y'all don't know all the details.
Yeah. Sometimes they do that to save time, to save money, to save resources. You got to think about it. Crimes are happening every single day. Maybe not as blown out as this or anything like that, but you get somebody that says, look, I'll admit that I did it. I'll tell you everything, the exact truth, blah, 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 blah. Give me life and not the death penalty, or give me life with the possibility of parole as opposed to no parole. Well, that's, look, we don't have to pay a jury. We don't have to, we don't have to do any of that stuff. We clear a courtroom, it's sad, but it's the way the American justice system works sometimes.
I remember the days of, even when you got a plea deal, you had to go to court and tell them what happened. Jeffrey Dahmer had to stand up in court and tell every last gory, god-awful detail of what he did. And so did
they may not do this. They may not do that because kids were involved, minors. Very hard for the layperson on the street to listen to what happened to those children.
I can't
imagine the way Riley was
Tim Jones Jr. I cannot imagine that it could be worse than that. And all of that is out
Just
there.
to clear up, there's some questions in chat. The current motion before the court is only about the preliminary hearings. That is correct. This is not a trial. So it's possible he's just going to say, let's keep the preliminary hearings kind of quiet. But all of the information that will come out in the prelim will come out in the trial anyway. So, and if we get all the transcripts, we're not going to miss any of the details. But yeah, they're not talking about the trial yet. So we should be able to see.
This is just prelim, guys. Prelim. It's just, hey, look, we've got enough to go to trial. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. And then it gives Chad it'll give Lori, both of them, a chance to sit there and stew and go, oh man, and their attorneys to say, look at you're going down. There's, type of thing. It's sad, but it's all about expediency sometimes. Yeah. It's terrible to say.
Like from a non-legal standpoint, I think it's hilarious because Lori's not going to be able to be on camera. She loves it. I mean, I wonder if it's that kind of a deal. Rob was like, let's not give her the option of Skittle lips and bad hair dye with no concealer. Maybe her and Jack won't be there together. I don't know.
We can't see her Skittle lips anyway. She's got to wear a mask.
Oh my God! If she dabs her eye.
I guess I don't know, would Colby be there like he was last time?
I believe they're going to let family probably Absolutely.
Yes,
They have a
family,
right to be there.
witnesses, and any of obviously defense prosecution. So if they want to be there, family and witnesses will be able to either be there or call in via Zoom or something like that.
Yeah.
But the general public will not be allowed to. So
I mean, there's always that. If they, get the motion through, she won't get the satisfaction of being on the news.
But like I've said many times before, as we're talking about this case, Rob Wood is probably the best prosecutor to be on this case. So
Yes.
because I hold him in such high esteem, if he thinks this is necessary, all right, there's a reason. I don't know all the reasons. He must know something, and I'll trust that.
I wonder if
I'll agree with that.
Mark Means or Chad's lawyer have a history of utilizing that down the road after trials.
Possible.
I think I would.
Because the same thing with Awen, as we were talking about earlier, Mr. Wood kind of yanking the rug out underneath Mark Means' feet by saying, I don't want them in there. I can picture, why didn't Mark Means say that? It's usually a defense attorney's move. Well, the last thing he wants is no chance for a mistrial or an appeal. I mean, because this really is a losing case as far as I could see. If I was a defense attorney, the fact that they lied to law enforcement and stuff like that to hide their tracks shows that, and Idaho doesn't have an insanity anyways. But you see what I'm saying? That's cognitive reasoning and thinking and showing you knew right from wrong. So there's no mistrial on that. There's no retry, so yeah, I got to believe with Awen on this one. I mean, he's got to have his reasons. And he's been doing it long enough that he's been around the block. So we're going to have to trust him.
From him. I mean, if it had been a motion from Mark Means, I would have been a lot more bristly about it, I think.
I don't think Mark Means knows how to do a motion.
I don't. I don't either.
Well, I will say that Mark Means filing the 3 motions that he filed last week that we talked about, those were actually pretty well done, with the exception of the affirmative defenses that he put forth, because they're not standard affirmative defenses. They're a little wishy-washy, and I think he's grasping at straws. But it seems like somewhere he's getting some advice about what he's supposed to be doing right now, and he seems to be doing that. So
I agree.
Are those the motions for Mr. Daybell?
No, these are the ones he put forth in Lori's case.
Yes, Mr. Daybell.
Oh, yes, Mr. Lori Daybell. Yes.
As the grammar police, I had a really hard time reading those.
I was actually wondering, did she have a sex change in jail?
Yes, so she could be with Chad.
I'm pretty sure that's like.
They just stabbed him for
I'd like to see his Amazon account. I wonder when he ordered his Defense Lawyer for Dummies book.
I don't know if he's ever done a defense case, a criminal case before. He's not a criminal attorney.
No, I believe he's a family lawyer. So he's in over his head. Now, remember, they are going to be doing the conflict of interest hearings because Rob Wood has raised to the court that he believes Mark Means is ineligible to represent Lori because of a conflict of interest from his representation of Chad, where Mark Means got up to the judge and said, no, I never represented Chad. Now, the caveat to that is never in a criminal proceeding. Okay. Yes. But that still doesn't remove the conflict of interest.
Yet. Yeah. But we don't know what Chad said. Are you surprised that Chad's lawyer hasn't brought that up? I was.
I think they share office space, not as a group, but like rent office space in the same place. So they have to have talked.
No,
I'm sure they have talked.
Chad's lawyer didn't file the same motion if he was afraid. Means had information from Chad that he would use.
That Pryor would want Means removed from the case as well. Yeah.
Maybe they're sharing information.
I think
that would be a huge mess, huh? Because you got that whole client confidentiality thing. Good Lord. I hope they're not sharing. And if they are, let's hope they don't get caught. Let's hope it doesn't come out, because if it does, there's your mistrial.
Yes.
There's your freaking mistrial. And I'll be honest, guys, I really can see them setting this up to try and get a mistrial or an appeal after time has passed and people aren't quite so upset about all of this. It's
definitely possible. But I think Rob Wood sees that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I think that's what the conflict of interest about. That could be what the cameras thing is about. Rob Wood is like, all right, I'm anticipating what scummy things they're going to do in the future and preventing that now. So I have a lot of faith that Rob Wood's going to pull this off, and that's good. A lot of people are asking about other charges yet. How come we haven't seen murder charges or anything like that? And there's a lot of reasons, but from what I can see, right, from my following of the court proceedings, we have Rob Woods, who is recently named special prosecutor. Now that changes the ball game.
Yep.
All right, for the prosecution, because now he can bring charges in any case that arises as a result of his investigation into the original case, which is Chad and Lori and the conspiracy charges. So as a result of that, anything that else that comes up that's connected, we're talking Tammy's death, Charles' death, even Joseph Ryan's death, Alex, anything, Brandon's shooting, anything that comes up, even remotely connected to Chad and Lori, he can now bring charges for. It doesn't have to go out to a whole nother team and a whole nother case. That's a very big deal, right? And I think they did that for a reason, because he wouldn't need to be a special prosecutor unless they anticipated all of these other cases coming under this umbrella. All right, so
I think he's trying to
special prosecutor for Melanie Gibb. Could that be why they're not taking charges yet? Because they're wanting to get her too.
Yep. If there will be charges against her, he would be the one to bring those. Yep.
You know, and we also have to understand, guys, there's a lot of jurisdictions in this. I mean, there really are. She was doing Social Security fraud and while that's federal. So you got the federal, who wants to prosecute? Who type of thing. It's so much behind the scenes that for us to sit here and second guess is going to just munkle us up. Like Abel said, we got to kind of accept the fact and hope that Ron Wood obviously knows what he's doing and let him run with the ball, man. I can tell you what, as far as the plea bargain, I can see Means and I can see Chad's lawyer going to him and saying, hey, look, we want to make a deal. And Ron Wood going, oh, I got everything I need. No.
I've got everything I need from Melanie Gibb. I would really, in the back of my head, I wonder if the reason Zulema hasn't been paraded out and interviewed is because
has anybody found her yet?
Information from her, from Alex, or what she's seen, but hasn't been, like, nobody says she's part of the cult. Nobody talks about her being anywhere other than Vegas to marry Alex for 15 minutes. And then whenever the ambulance came when he died, I'd be curious to see how much she knew. And then I wouldn't be surprised if they were feeding questions, for all these interviews that Gibb is doing, and she's just hanging herself. From what she said, they could absolutely press charges on her.
Oops, that's wrong.
I mean, she obviously knew what was going on. Nobody's that stupid. I don't care which one of them takes the award for I was the most deceived. I'd like to see her sit in jail too.
We have someone special in chat. I want to take a minute and say hello to Lori Hellis. Lori is a criminal defense attorney, or was, or is. I'm sorry, Lori, I forget which one. If you could correct me. She's been following this case, and she has a newsletter that I have subscribed to a while ago, where any of the legal stuff that comes out in the case, right, she gives an explanation of what's going on, cites the law behind the scenes that we don't always have access to as lay people, and puts it in this newsletter in a nice, concise form where you can subscribe and read it and be like, oh, that's why they're doing this. All right. Now, a lot of people have asked me, Eamon, are you a lawyer? How do you know about this? You know how I know about this? I read Lori Hellis's newsletter. So there you go. If we could get a link to Lori's newsletter so we can share it in chat. Actually, I'm just going to go get you the link. I have it in my email. It's been a wealth of information, and I wanted to say hello to Lori and thank you for that, because it made, like, the conflict of interest make sense to me. Yeah. So, it's a resource that I think we all need following this case, because it's going to get legally very crazy.
It could be a circus.
It really is.
It's going to be a circus.
Here's the link. I'm going to put it with stars in the chat. Oops. This chat's going very fast. Now, I am going to address this quickly, right? Because I don't want any garbage here. The LoriVallowstory.com is Lori Hellis's website. Do not confuse Lori Hellis with the crazy troll Twitter account the Lori Vallow story. They are two different people.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
don't come for me. Do not come for Lori Hellis. Don't bring that stuff here. So there you go. But if you want to subscribe to that newsletter, there is the link. Really great legal background to help us make sense of all this. So thank you for being here, Lori. I appreciate it very much. There we go.
Sign up for that.
I was just so excited to see you in chat. I was like, yay. Yeah.
Now if only Annie would stop by.
So Lori Hellis expects a plea deal.
Yep. Lori, I'm assuming that you mean that from Chad. I would guess, if I'm going to have to guess which two of them is going to cave and try to make a plea deal, it would be Chad first.
Yeah. Now, when Lori says that, does she mean she just expects somebody to put that out there, or does she expect Mr. Wood to accept a plea deal?
That's a good question.
Yes. People will be so upset if they give them a deal.
I agree.
They were pissed when they gave Crystal Kenny a deal on Patrick Frazie's case. People are going to hit the roof. This involves 2 kids and a lot of people for a long time. And they are invested. You know, we followed them Arizona, Idaho, Hawaii. There's signs everywhere. Lori, where's the kids? I mean, the public is so, I think they'll be pissed if they give either one of them a deal.
Yep, I do too. If either of them walk, or even, see, this is, Scott and I were talking about this morning in regards to Melanie Gibb, right? Technically, legally, what could they really do to her? Probably not much, but her not having any accountability for knowing and expecting the deaths of 4 or 5 people and not intervening, to me, that's a bad thing.
Went on that note as far
conspiracy charges.
I was just going to say, and failure to act. I mean, that's huge. You know, I mean, failure to act that caused the death of other people, that may carry, so, you know, not life, but it may carry 10, you know, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying that failure to act, that failure to call law enforcement or inform someone, you know.
Avoid law enforcement. I mean, they were actively trying to get a hold of her.
Yeah.
So I'm
not to derail the conversation or interrupt. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But while Lori Hellis is here in chat, maybe if I can talk to Lori privately, if we can exchange some emails or something, if maybe she would come on to Alive and we can ask our legal questions and get some actual answers instead of me trying to piece together the information I'm digging up on the internet. That would be fantastic.
You the deal, not me.
I just saw a comment from Lori about the plea bargain. I do expect that they will both plead. Idaho isn't hot on the death penalty. I think they will threaten it and plead them down to life. Hey, I'll settle for life without parole. I really will.
Too.
You know,
Me too.
I'm okay with that.
And I can't see Chad doing it. I really can't. I cannot see that man in prison for any amount of time.
I'll make it.
Yeah.
There.
Lori will have her little following no matter where she goes.
They're going to ship him over. As
long as she's on the throne, she won't care.
Jess, I think you may need to turn your microphone up a little bit. I think we're talking over you because we don't always hear you.
Okay.
A little quiet over there.
Figure that one out.
All right, Lori Helen said she would love to chat offline, so I will get with her and maybe we can help get some more legal clarification as we go forward. So
that would be awesome. Thank you, Lori.
Yes, thank you, Lori. And I did not know that Idaho was not even so big on life. Good Lord Almighty. I guess you're going to commit a crime, do it in Idaho.
That's crazy to me.
That is crazy. I would think there would be something in place if there were minors involved. I mean, that's just me, though.
Yeah. That's why
I just spotted a comment in chat there, Ewan, that Katie Higgins, she just said, I heard there will be at least 48 witnesses. So that's something, isn't it?
I do have a witness list. Where's my witnesses? I never counted the numbers on it. I think it's numbered, though. It is up to the witnesses that I have, which is very tiny print, goes up to, well, it's letters. So it goes up to VV. So there you go. From A to Z, double A, double B, double C, all the way to VV. So that's about 40-something-ish. Yep, just 26 letters in the alphabet. So there you go. And that is just the preliminary witness list for the charges in Madison County, I believe. or that was the original witness list from her charges when she was arrested earlier this year. So that's not even the end of this. All right. So, and plus if they're looking at, we know there's a new lead detective that's looking at Charles Vallow's death. We know Annie Cushing is pushing hard to look at Joseph Ryan's death. We have to consider Alex's death. So Tammy's death, investigators are working on that. So there could be a lot more to this story. A lot more. Gray Hat Jen, thank you for the super chat. Gray Hat says, if I can recall, Hawaii only agreed to extradite Lori if the death penalty was off the table. I don't remember hearing that. I don't, because there would not have been a death penalty option for the charges in Hawaii, which was just abandonment of the child. That's not a death penalty case. So I don't think that's the case at all.
That's interesting. I can't picture a state saying that.
No.
Oh, actually, they do.
Yeah. I mean, I'd find it easy to believe, but it's like one of those, wow, if I was, if I was Hawaii, I'd be like, hey, get them the hell out of here. We don't want them here.
No, but at the time with the charges in play, I can't see that having been a thing at that time.
No, not at that time, but it is. Yeah. There are quite a few states that will say, unless you take the death penalty off, we will not extradite.
Yes.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
They would have gotten her there anyways, guys, because again, the federal government would have stepped in. Just on the Social Security alone, they would have been like, okay, well, you know what? We don't know where the kids are. She's still cashing that check. We're going to take her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So there's so much coming in this case. It's hard for us to sit here and be patient and wait, because we, as true crimers, we've seen crimes so many times. This is nothing new. We can figure out who killed Charles, who killed Joseph, We can come up with our own suspicions and speculations and make perfectly plausible stories that fit the evidence that we have. But we have this much of the evidence.
Yep.
Rob Wood's got everything, or as much as they're still digging. So we have to be patient, and it's so hard because, I would like to see a slew of murder charges tomorrow morning on the 23rd. Would that not be perfect? And karma,
I'll tell you what.
I was hoping for
some Irish cream in my coffee or something for that.
Yeah. But DD says, but there aren't any new charges to keep them in jail. Well, they're not going anywhere. They're not. Remember, neither of them have assets to use as collateral for surety for their bails. They're each on $1 million. Lori's on $1 million and $150,000. They don't have any money. They may have the 10% in cash if they pull the resources, but they certainly don't have $2 million worth of assets to back up those bonds. So I don't think we have to worry. Plus, remember, Rob Wood is really smart. He really is, guys. I don't think he's going to let them walk. They may bond out if they find a rich benefactor somewhere, but he's not going to let them get away. He's not.
And that's
we have to have faith.
I'd have to agree with you on that. As far as a bail bondsman, they're going to look at the big picture. There is absolutely no reason with what those two are facing for them to stay and try and face trial. I mean, there really isn't. So they're not going to dole out their money knowing I'm going to lose this no matter what, type of thing. So if anything happens, if it goes wrong, it'll be because of something legal.
Yes.
The phone calls that were taped, which, by the way, I don't, I understand the rights and I understand it's as simple as, okay, well, what was said in those phone calls? All right, well, we won't use that then. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be, if anything goes south, it's going to be on a technicality. Somebody did something stupid, So let's hope that doesn't happen. And again, like Awen said, let's hope that Ron Wood keeps taking his time, not falling to public pressure, and does his job, man. Yeah. And then he's going to stand in court and he's going to smile. He's going to say, I got you. There's only one deal you have. Guilty to everything and never see.
I'm quite happy to wait a year, 2 years. They're not going anywhere in the meantime.
Yep.
They're sitting there twiddling their thumbs day in, day out, waiting for the axe to fall. I think this is actually quite apt that they're stuck where they are, waiting and waiting and waiting. That's torture.
Yes, it is.
Not knowing what the fate of your life is going to hold. I'm actually enjoying the fact that they're in mental hell right now because they deserve that for what they've done. They genuinely do. And I'm not a vindictive person, but in this case, I just can't accept what they've done.
Yeah. I need to interject for two things. First of all, Hawaii to Hoenn, one of our viewers and very active in our community, wants to come on panel as well, but she's using the wrong StreamYard link. So I just sent you a Discord message with the correct StreamYard link. You're in backyard for a stream that's not happening. So
Nope,
come to this one. That'll help. But also, you see a new comment pinned up on the screen from Sophie H. I have faith in Rob Woods 100%. Now, Sophie, congratulations. You are the first winner of a prize tonight. I have a $20 Amazon gift card for you. What I need you to do to redeem it, just send me an email, awinreesepodcast@gmail.com. The address is in the description of the video in case you forget it. Send me that email and I will get it to you right away. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And thank you for your comment because I agree 100%. So, yay!
Mr. Frodo. Yay! Somebody had to come say hello to all of you people out there in YouTube land.
Hello, Frodo.
Say hi. I know there's people there.
Let's go into one of my favorite topics about this case because I can't stop talking about it because it really has me pulling my hair out. Can you guess her name? The woman I'm talking about? Miss Melanie Gibb. Miss Melanie Gibb. So let's go through the panel. I want to hear what you guys think, if we're all on the same page with her, or if I'm just crazy. So, Jess, what do you think about Melanie Gibb?
Well, first, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Dan fixed the mic, I guess. Just on the last part before we quit talking about it, I think anybody that paid attention to the Photostilos case, bail bondsmen are not going to touch them at all. And I think that was I think that would play into it, even though it's not connected. I hate Melanie Gibb. I hope that they charge her. She's Crystal Kenny to me. If they give her a deal, I'm going to be really upset. She knew more than she wants to. She's playing Mika Mild, and we're talking about dead kids who she could have saved. It aggravates me so bad. I keep talking about the Patrick Frazee thing, but just about any recent true crime story, there was always somebody who could have stopped it.
Yes.
They didn't say anything. And then the next person didn't say anything. And it's the kids that paid for it. And it drives me nuts. To know that she left her kids, she left her husband. Would her kids have ended up dead next? I mean, we already hear that the other Melanie said 2 of her kids were zombies. I mean, there's no telling where this would have went if somebody hadn't got caught. And she knew about all of it. She knew about the adults. She knew about Charles. She knew about Alex. She knew about all of them. It's crazy. I hope she gets charged for something.
Yes.
Because right now she's acting like poor pitiful me. Everybody feels sorry for me. I was so duped.
Yeah.
And I want to take over the cult. I mean, that's the craziest part of it. I wouldn't want to distance myself so far, so fast from these people, but she loves it. Her and Julie Rowe are just, batting it out for who is the most deceived. It drives me crazy. Crazy.
Stormy, what are your thoughts on Miss Gibb?
Before I do, I just want to say hi to somebody in chat. My stepdaughter.
Is that your Shauna?
Yes, my stepdaughter is in chat. Yeah. Hi, Shauna, darling. Love you.
Hi, Shauna. It's so good to meet you, sort of. I've heard a lot about you. I'm very glad you're here. That's awesome.
All right, so Melanie Gibb.
Good luck.
One word. Puke. She makes me sick. I know both you and Jess have said this. See something, say something. There's no excuse for what she sat on for so long. I mean, right, okay, she was talking and being cooperative with the authorities in December, but there was 2 months, 3 months before that she knew all of this, and she did not say a single damn word to anyone. And there's 2 kids missing. You know that this person that you're really good friends with has declared them to be zombies. And we've seen already what the precedent is for zombies, that they get killed. Add 2 and 2 and you get the answer. Why did she not come forward? Was she saving her own backside? Was she making sure that they didn't come for her? I deeply question her motivations for coming forward when she did. There's just too much of a period of time where she stayed silent. So that's my opinion on her. She's just literally puke. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say it, but yeah, that's how I feel about her. She makes me.
I do want to break in before we get to Kathy and address Speakeasy's comment in chat saying, said she thinks Melanie Gibb is very vulnerable and gullible. She's not a bad person. And I think she did what she thought was the right thing. I can see that. I can see how people believe that. I really can. And I would like to believe that myself. But the fact that she knew that Chad and Lori were calling these people zombies, and multiple people, not just JJ and Tylee, but Charles and Tammy as well, and perhaps even Alex at the end. And she knew what had to happen to zombies, and she knew that Charles was murdered by Alex. That was not ever in question. And then she didn't run screaming with her hair on fire to the police station like she thinks the kids are zombies. Help, help, and make them believe her, you know. I can't ever get past that.
Yeah,
she helped Melanie Pulaski track down her kids.
Yes.
After Brandon took them. I mean, that is crazy. And if she's not a bad person, where's the remorse? One time, has she ever said, I'm sorry to anybody?
Saying you're sorry admits guilt.
Has she ever talked to Kay and Larry? Oh my God, I can't believe I was so caught up in this and I didn't see it coming. I mean, they have been wondering where Tylee and JJ were for months, and she knew. She knew the day that they killed JJ, they were gone. She knew.
She did.
And put somebody through that, I don't care how gullible, how stupid, whatever you are, that is not a good person. If you can watch somebody cry on national television and plead over an autistic child and not tell anybody because it's just not emotionally stable for you to come out and do an interview is crap.
I do have to interject before it's Kathy's turn, just to say thank you to Sam for the super chat. He says, for Awen's birthday donut fund. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Sam, I love you. Thank you. All right, so, Kathy, your turn. Your thoughts on Miss Melanie Gibb.
Oh, Lord. Bless her heart.
Go for it.
That's about bless her little heart, as my grandmother would say. She's ignorant. I have watched her podcasts. She is not stupid. She is playing the I was deceived, I am stupid role. But if you listen to her podcast, she comes across very confident, intelligent, and someone who knows what she's doing. And right now she's play acting and she's trying to CYA.
Oh my God, Kathy. Just her interviews, the amount of time she took before she answered some of them to think.
Because she had to put her answers in just the right way to make it seem like poor pitiful me.
Exactly.
The devil got me. I didn't know what I was doing. Not poor JJ, poor Tylee, poor Charles, poor Joseph,
right,
and even poor Alex. Nothing, just poor pitiful me.
Yes.
So I'm trying to stay calm here.
1 second, Peter.
And not raise my blood pressure, but that woman is going to be the death of me. She and Julie Rowe.
Yeah.
So look, the two of them, I just can't anymore. I'm done.
I would buy that Julie was that gullible and stupid because everything she's said since then proves that she's gullible and stupid.
Well, they're all gullible, but they're also smart. Just because you're gullible doesn't mean you're not smart.
Melanie's manipulative. I mean, she's manipulative. Crazy.
big time manipulative.
If you were sorry and you just realized, oh my God, I can't believe I fell for this, you would not be reaching out to the rest of the cult members and trying to teach.
You know, sweetie, if she was really, really sorry for what she did or what she do or whatever, she would look at them and say, no, I don't want to deal. I do whatever you need to do to me. I should have come forward sooner.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sorry that everybody got caught, and now I may get caught too. That's what she's really, really sorry about.
Let's back this up 1 second. Speakeasy has another comment. All right. Here's the thing, how she explained it to me. Okay, and read that comment. I totally understand. If my best friend told me, I'm echoing in somebody's thing. Anyway, if my best friend told me that about her kids and they thought they were zombies, I would be like, yeah, you're cuckoo. I don't think I would go running to the police just from that. However, if my best friend's fourth husband, my best friend's fourth husband had been killed by her brother after that best friend had told me they were waiting for him to die in a car crash or something because they'd had visions that he was going to die and that she was disappointed when he hadn't died. And then all of a sudden her brother showed up and killed him, but she had thought he was a zombie named Nick Schneider. If all of that was the background to my best friend then telling me her children were also zombies, that changes the game entirely.
Yeah.
Absolutely entirely. So I understand she may not have thought her best friend would do that or it would go that far. But when we look at Charles Vallow's death and all of the history surrounding that, you cannot get past that. You just can't. That's it.
And didn't she say, I thought they would just say a prayer and the demon would leave and the body. But then she said, and the body would die.
Yes.
So, but I didn't think I didn't see it being shot. I thought they would just do a prayer over Charles and then he would leave and he would die. She didn't see the other coming.
I think it's like the Mean Girls Club, and she did not want to be out of the clique. She would have stood there when Melanie Pulaski's two kids suddenly disappeared. I think that if nobody got caught, there'd be a whole lot more missing kids, and she would still think, oh, they're just in there, killing. I don't know, if Oprah dropped dead, since she's the worst woman in the world or whatever. I mean, that's just crazy. I just think they're going to say a prayer, and then all these people die and disappear.
They're still dead, though.
Crazy.
That's the thing. Does that not click that maybe you're going to say a prayer and the demon's going to leave, but that person's still dead?
I don't see how anybody felt safe around Alex. I mean, I don't.
Oh, no.
He went to jail for tasing husband number 3.
Oh, Grim
He
Reaper.
kill husband number 3. He did kill husband number 4. I don't know. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, JJ's crazy. I gave him to Alex. My first thought would be, are you really sure that's who needs to be babysitting your autistic child?
Yeah.
Exactly. But then he came back. He came back and he had his head on his shoulder and it was a tender moment. My opinion, he was already dead.
But then the next day, they were like, where's JJ? Oh, he was climbing on the ceiling like something out of The Exorcist. So I called Alex. I don't know when Alex became like super nanny. That's not somebody I would want around my kids.
No.
I don't see how anybody.
Right. It is Scott's turn to talk about Melanie, but speaking
no,
to
Scott,
you,
you can't have a turn.
One more comment. Maybe
this will be easy.
Wait,
we're keeping this clean and stuff like that. I'm a passionate man when it comes to some of this stuff. I'm a dad of 2, all right, and I'm not the world's smartest man. I'm not the most intelligent man, but I have common sense. The minute one person died that was called a zombie, and then a second person was called a zombie, she was remiss in not telling someone. Plain and simple. If I could do one thing, seriously, one thing, and I'm not one of these portal people or anything like that, but if I could transport myself, I would whisper in that woman's ear, do you realize that people might still be alive if you did what any normal adult person would have done. You're just as responsible, even if you didn't pull the trigger. You could have maybe stopped it. And she didn't. And I have to believe and go with it. You know what? I think she was so wrapped up in this, she didn't want to let it go. And I think she has something for Chad. I really do. And I think she wanted to wait and see where the balls started to fall. And when she started to see it going to the left, she came forward then to a CYA, you know, and that's, again, that's wrong. Doesn't excuse anything. I would just love to whisper in her ear, just that one simple line. You could have stopped all of this. Maybe.
Yeah. And to address speakeasy, I'm not saying at all, even remotely, that I think Melanie Gibb was personally involved physically in the murders of anyone. I'm not saying that. But I do think that she has an enormous karmic debt for allowing these deaths to go unchallenged.
Failure to act is still a crime.
I don't think Lori had anything to do physically with the kids or anybody else dying. Right. She had enough people that just fell on behind her.
I find it kind of unique that the morning after when JJ disappeared, that they would ask, "Where's JJ?" And not a word was, "Where's Tylee?"
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Where's Tylee? You know, it all seems to, as usual, Awen, you will agree with this, I'm sure. Everything seemed to fall right into place when it came to Melanie, you know, and I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, well, you know, that was unusual. Yeah, well, you know, that was strange. No, those are unacceptable answers to me, man, or at least only once you get to use that answer. Because when something's strange and unusual more than once with different people and they're dying, you're culpable. You're culpable.
But she's still taking it for him. I mean, if she was gullible.
If you will excuse me, guys, I have to take my dog outside. My service dog, Peanut, is going now. So excuse me. I don't know how to stop my camera and stuff like that. So I will return. Proceed. Come on, Peanut.
So still, I mean, whenever she was interviewed by Nate, she was still talking about how sad she was with Chad Lori. Lori couldn't be with Chad. I mean, are you really that delusional?
Right.
There's dead kids and you feel bad that Lori's away from Chad? It's beyond me. Beyond me.
Now, the main thing about Melanie Gibb from reading chat that bothers me the most, let's remember the night that, now this is going strictly from the probable cause affidavit, right, for Chad and Lori. The night that JJ went missing, that's what I'm just going to call it for now. David Warwick and Melanie Gibb were at Lori's apartment in Rexburg. Apparently there was an event there over the course of a few days. One of these, I don't know if it was exactly preparing of people or something similar, one of these speaking events where all these authors would get together. That's why they were there at Lori's house. In that evening, JJ was acting up, so Lori had Alex take JJ to Alex's apartment because Lori, Melanie, and David wanted to record their podcast. Okay, so they recorded their podcast, which was actually one of Melanie Gibb's Feel the Fire podcast promos for her book. And then JJ came back later in Alex's arms. Alex carried him back into the apartment, and David Warwick states in the affidavit that he thought JJ was sleeping, and he thought it was a tender moment because JJ's head was on Alex's shoulder. Okay, then everybody goes to bed, and in the morning when they wake up, David says to Lori, "Where's JJ?" And Lori says, "Oh, well, he's with Alex because he was climbing on the cabinets and trying to get up to the ceiling, and he even knocked my picture of Jesus off the fridge, so he's with Alex." And Alex says, "Well, I want to see him." And that's all we hear? Mm-hmm. What happened after that? We don't know what happened.
David said, "I want to see him."
Yeah, but for them to be there in the apartment the night that something happened to JJ, because we know also from the affidavit that JJ was buried in Chad's yard that next morning.
Just
I can't walk away from that.
Asking where he is,
right?
Uncle Alex was at Chad's house burying him.
Yeah.
Can I ask something real quick?
Yes.
Sure.
How many people do you think that are intermingled with all of this stuff started pooping their pants when they heard, well, they pinged his phone and he was here. They pinged his phone, and he was here. I'm telling you what, if I had a cell phone, I'd be like, oh, they can do that?
Yeah.
Surprise. Yes, they can.
I didn't realize how advanced. I mean,
Yeah.
These cases.
That's all post 9/11 stuff, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Even
you could
if
be
you turn
down
off
to
location.
60.
So I think there's a lot of people right now, seriously, sweating and worrying that aren't in jail yet, that seriously are sitting back going, oh, when? And much like somebody said earlier, that's a form of torture in itself, and rightly so.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I just think what bothers me the most is, like, as a mom, Lori had the state of mind to record a podcast while her brother killed her son. And
I
when
said
people
the same
asked about it, she couldn't even say something nice about it, even though she knew he was dead. She said, "Can you believe I was climbing on the ceiling like something out of The Exorcist and knocked my picture of Jesus over?"
Oh, well, that was an important fact.
Yes.
And it's not even so. I mean, then you could say she detached. She's his adopted mom, whatever. She did the same crap to Tylee.
Sorry, guys.
Video where she's saying Tylee's a zombie and Tylee pups off in the background. Not me, Mom. I mean, how many times did she tell that to that poor girl?
Ooh.
And how many people did she tell that she didn't even have children? I mean, like, Chad's family didn't even know she had children.
Chad's family's a whole nother.
Well, but you know what I mean? She was telling people she didn't have any minor children.
That's because she didn't have any anymore.
Technically, she didn't.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's true, but...
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to interject for another change of topic. Jade, congratulations. You are the winner of the next prize. Your comment,
Jade, all right.
Your comment is going to lead us into our whole next conversation, so thank you for that. What you need to do, you'll be getting a $20 Ulta gift card. Please send me an email so I can make sure and get that to you at awinreesepodcast@gmail.com. My email is in the description below if you didn't catch that. So please send me an email, and I will get that to you straight away. And thank you for being here, and thank you for a comment, because now that's what we got to talk about. But first, Emily Flotilla. Hi, I love you. I'm so happy to see you here. Catnip. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Guys, all of the mods in my channel, I know some of you may be upset because certain things are being deleted and moved. Speakeasy, I just saw your comment. Would I have a conversation with Melanie Gibb? I absolutely would, 100%. But yeah, the mods are deleting certain comments. We do not allow bashing of Mormonism on this channel. We may not agree with Mormonism. I'm not a Mormon. It's its own thing. But what Chad and Lori were doing was not mainstream Mormonism. They were at one point mainstream Mormons, and then they went crazy and they went off the deep end. We're not going to hold Mormonism, the church itself, responsible for what they did. Okay, we're not doing that here. Okay, that's topics for other conversations. So if your messages are getting deleted, that's probably why. All right, so let's do that. We're also not promoting any calls for violence.
Nope.
All right, even if you're talking about Chad and Lori, we do not call for violence on this channel. We call for justice. All right, so I've seen a lot of comments flying off the screen. So let's rein it in a little bit. Let's bring things back down to
breathe.
earth. So, everybody take a breath. It's going to be great. All right.
Hey, everybody, this is my service dog, Peanut. Sorry she's interrupting, but you know what? I'm rising. We started talking about Melanie G, and she picked up on it right away. That's
why Frodo showed up.
Yeah. So there, she's mellowed back out now. Sorry, Awen, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
And I saw a comment from James.
Before we move on, can I just have one point about something we picked on there for earlier on with the tender moment with JJ? Would it be that it was a tender moment because his body was now free and JJ could move on to the next stage of being? Would that be why she said it was a tender moment? Seeing him possibly deceased?
That's a good question, Stormy. I'd have to say, unfortunately, we are never, unless somebody steps up and actually says, hey, look at this is what happened. We're never going to know what was said behind closed doors. We're never going to know what they did behind those closed doors during their podcast things. And when you and I talked about that, and I don't even want to go there with those images again, and that's unfortunate. Did they say that because he was already dead and he was free? We'll never know unless one of them says, yeah.
Just really intrigued by the psychology of it. I'd be really intrigued to hear the podcast from that night. I'd love to be able to pick that apart. And hopefully sometime down the line, after all of this is said and done, we might have the opportunity to do that. So hopefully that comes about.
I'm sure one of the mods will link in chat to Denise Rainey's YouTube channel. She does have a few of the podcasts uploaded. She has the entire collection. And when it is the right time, I will have a discussion with her husband and ask if I can get them so I can upload them to you. It is not the right time yet. Okay, so it's just not. We're just going to have to be patient and wait on that because he doesn't need that right now. Okay, but someday, we do have them. Okay, we do have all the podcasts. And eventually, when everything is settled down, perhaps I'll be able to bring them to you. So then we'll get to hear what they talked about that night. And that will be very, very interesting.
And
come back around to the family.
If you just look, it's the other side. If you just look over my shoulder, there's my little angel, which will be literally its twin, will be winging its way to Eowyn. And we spotted this, and we just saw Denise.
Oh.
There we go.
So it's hard to see in that image, but a close-up picture, it really looks like Denise.
Wow.
It's eerie how similar that is. So I was like, I need one.
Wow. There's no such thing as coincidences.
Right?
None.
Nope.
Before
No coincidences here.
The last, when she said that, was talking about the tender moment or whatever, the thing that popped in my head, she's the only person involved in the case that said anything about a tender anything with JJ. And then that harkens back to how they found the bodies. They've described them as JJ was well taken care of.
Yeah.
But wasn't David the one that said
You're
it was
going where I'm thinking?
I thought David was the one that said that.
Yeah.
Do you really think Lori
the boyfriend
JJ tenderly after she just told all room full of people he was climbing on the ceiling and knocked over a picture of Jesus and was awful? I'd be surprised to see what evidence does come back on those bags of duct tape, because Alex obviously wasn't a tender person to anybody.
Does anyone know what David does for a living?
Yes.
He's a lawyer?
He is one of these authors.
Okay.
I don't know what else he does on the side.
They really
but
make
he is
money to live off for these crazy books. I mean, really?
I don't think so, but he's definitely all over the Preparing People events and the podcast and all that stuff. He was in it just as much as Melanie and Lori and Chad and Julie Rowe and all the others were. So there you go.
By the way, hi, Mike and Nancy.
Hi, Linda, not my verbiage. Another one of our mods, that's Linda. She was one of Denise's best friends, so please say hi to Linda. I'm so happy you're here.
Linda.
I'm so happy the world did not end. Yay. All right, so the next topic that Jade brought up, which is really good. This one we talked about a lot during a live stream last week or something, that they reduced Lori's bond in the Madison County charges. Now, when this happened, a lot of people were up in arms over this. Oh, no, they reduced her bond. She's going to walk. Blah. Why would the judge do that? Evil has prevailed. I mean, I was like, come on, calm it down. Let's talk about that. All right, let's talk about why that happened and what the charges in Madison County mean, because understanding it is really important. Okay, so she was originally charged with felony desertion and abandonment of the 2 children while she was in Hawaii, as well as the 3 charges that are still standing. But when they discovered the remains of the children in Chad's backyard, clearly felony desertion and abandonment no longer apply. Those charges are not applicable. She did not abandon she didn't abandon the kids. They were murdered. Okay, so clearly those charges had to go. They couldn't just keep them arbitrarily, because if you're a prosecutor, how are you going to go into court and prove that? You can't prove she abandoned the kids when they found them in Chad's yard. Doesn't work that way. So they had to remove those charges, right? Because that could have been grounds for appeal or other kinds of nonsense from Lori's side. So Rob Wood did the smart thing by removing those erroneous charges.
Yep.
But of course, now without the felonies and only 3 misdemeanors left, of course the bond was reduced for Madison County. That's how this justice system works. So it's okay. All right. We don't need to go crazy about that. Does it mean that she only has now $1.15 million bond instead of 2? Yeah. Is she likely to make that? No. It's possible, but it's still really slim. So that's what happened with those charges. It's not really the end of the world. Just like today wasn't.
And when you hit it on the nose, you have to remember, folks, that a courtroom is a neutral place. It's a neutral place until a verdict is passed.
Yes.
You can't sit there and hold $1 million bond on something that someone down the road for the same 3 charges would have gotten a $50,000 bond. She would have been able to say, you discriminated against me, mistrial. So, Awen, I know we had our little back and forth on it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're absolutely right. They had to. It was the only route they had, guys. I think the only thing that would overstep that, and even if they did make bail, the only way I would see that getting squashed or quashed would be, let's be honest, they're a danger to the public. If you let them out, are they a danger? Absolutely, man. Bodies were found on his property. I wonder if the bodies weren't found there, if they would have kept the abandonment charges and stuff. Probably. Till they proved cause of death and stuff.
Have evidence to show that he was involved.
As you said today, when nothing like a stupid criminal, man. I mean, thank God.
They're also a flight risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, if you can portal anywhere, then clearly you're a flight risk,
That's
what does
why
Paul
they
say?
clog
Somebody
their
get me a cup of
portal
that Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So, what is the next aspect of this case that y'all are just really itching to talk about?
I would really love to talk about Melanie P. and whether or not she is going to charges. I really would, because I know she's knee deep. The fact that she used the word zombies through her husband, which means 2 people, probably true.
Before we jump into Melanie P, though, I want to say thank you to Emily Flotilla. I can't even say the word Emily. My goodness, my tongue is tied. Emily, thank you for the super chat. I love the super sticker. Thank you so much. I love you very, very much. You are so dear to me. And next time, we have to have another phone call because I need to hear your voice again. It always fills my spirit back up to full. And I love you. Thank you very much. So, all right, Melanie Pulowski. My goodness.
Lord.
There's a lot to cover.
Bless
her little heart.
Not has anybody done the math on her pregnancy and when she says she met Ian?
All right, there's problems with that. There's problems with that. First of all, we have no official confirmation that she's pregnant. She looks pregnant. We all think she's pregnant. But has she come out and said somewhere, I'm pregnant? Ha ha ha. No.
So
maybe she's just quarantine fat.
It could be quarantine.
It terrifies me to think that woman would bring another child into the world.
I look like I'm about 6 months pregnant. Thank you, quarantine.
Right.
So
the paternity of the child, let's assume she's pregnant. The paternity of the child is a question mark.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Because remember, she met Ian allegedly and got married to him 10 days later after meeting him on a dating app, which I also think is completely bollocks. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So the parentage of the child, I hope they get that tested because I have my suspicions
because I think
about that
would be especially if it's not his. Can you imagine if it's Chad's or some? I mean, oh my God, that's a nail. That's a nail in the coffin. Yeah. I don't know. These people are really, really out there. The whole group. Good Lord.
I hope they at least find a reason to take the baby away from her because it's always.
It scares me to think that she might be bringing another child into the world and she'll have custody of it. A state can't just come in and say, well, there are charges against you. We're going to take you. I mean, they can temporarily, but if she gets cleared or not charged, man, she's going to have custody of that kid again. And that's
true, though. That's not
true. And I'm not talking about Brandon and her children. I think Brandon did the smart thing, and he and his attorney are playing this exactly the way they should, taking every single lie that she brings forward and going, nope. He did the right thing by going to law enforcement versus, vocalizing his worries, talking to Ian's ex-wife and vocalizing his worries. I'm telling you, Melanie Gibb could take a page out of their freaking book, huh?
Yeah.
But if the state finds that she can't have custody because she's an unfit mother, and Ian can't see his children because of her, or he's unfit as a father, the state could take any child that's born after that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter whether or not she was good to that baby or anything about the baby. If she is found unfit, they'll take it, or they should. They can. I've had enough run-ins with that.
I will say, when she's knee deep in it as much as anybody else, she knew that Alex was going. And I am speculating, but I'm basing it upon the facts that I've seen through you, through Paul, people that only do the facts and no speculation. Watching those news, watching the interviews, and listening to Melanie Gibbs say the phone call, can you check by? And yeah, they thought it was there's no doubt in my mind that she was at least involved with the attempt on Brandon. And I hope that gets brought out. And I hope that she, again, is held accountable for that and doesn't get away with saying, well, it was Alex. Yeah, no.
I absolutely agree. Now, somebody asked in chat if anyone's heard an update about Ian and Melanie. All that we know at this point, they recently had a hearing in court. It was an evidentiary hearing in the custody case of Brandon versus Melanie. That's Melanie Pulowski, who was Melanie Boudreau, who was Melanie Cohen, right, which is Lori's niece. Now, her and Brandon have been having a very ugly custody battle for quite a long time, but Brandon is working with Natalie Pulowski, which is Melanie's new husband's ex-wife. And they're working together to try and uncover all of this information about the cult and their beliefs. And even Melanie Gibb is going to testify in that custody case. Yep. And one of the things she's going to say is that Melanie Pulowski told her that she believes 2 of her children were zombies. Now, before anyone jumps on me and says, you can't say Melanie knew all this stuff or believed in this cult. If she said that she thought her children were zombies, then she absolutely knew what Chad and Lori were saying and believed it.
Yep.
There you go. You know what, so that testimony is very important.
She did the exact same thing that
sent her to look for kids.
The rest of them did, as far as leaving their current spouse without any word and then remarrying so rapidly. That seems to be the modus operandi of this cult group. Keep it within, do whatever. So for her to say, oh, no, I wasn't involved. Well, then how come you did exactly what, this person did, what Zulema did, what, the key players. Alex is definitely a key player in all this, and she did the same thing. It does. If it walks like a duck, talks. My first sergeant used to say that. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like it's probably a duck.
Yeah.
Jess, what were you saying?
Well, did she tell Melanie Gibb that her kids were zombies before or after she sent Melanie Gibb to go find her children?
That's a good question.
I think it's asking her to testify in that custody case is probably stupid. I mean, how can you guarantee what she's going to say on the stand?
Right.
When she's obviously connected still.
Because she's already made statements and stuff. To say anything differently on the stand would be perjury.
Yeah, Melanie actually sent Melanie to find her kids when Brandon hid them. I mean, she went and talked to neighbors. She went looking for Brandon. And then to say, use that same person in the custody case, like, whose side is she on? How do you know she's going to
Melanie Gibbs on her side, man. She's doing everything in the world to protect herself.
Okay, I'm going to interject for a moment. A new comment for Speakeasy. First of all, Speakeasy, thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. I would love to talk with you privately about a discussion regarding Melanie or with Melanie. Please understand that even though I'm voicing my opinion tonight, I am really open-minded. I really am a very open-minded person. I'm also very spiritually minded, and I can see other sides of things besides just my opinion. So I could approach a conversation with Melanie very rationally and without any bias. So I would love to talk to you about that privately. And thank you for sticking around and talking it through with me. Because even though we disagree at this point, maybe we'll come to a middle ground somewhere. And that's what I like to do here. So thank you very much. I appreciate it immensely. So there you go. And my email's in the description below. So
Me and Owen butted heads on a lot of stuff for a long time.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
My gosh, we were like gasoline, water fluid. We were awful.
Yep, and now that's why we're sisters. That's what you do, you know?
Neither one of us has the need to convince you. Like, I don't care. I'll tell you what I think. I'll listen to, whatever you think. But at the end of the day, I don't care if you believe what I think or not. It's going to matter what the 12 jurors think. That's about it. So.
Yep. I'm going to point out one thing about the Ian and Melanie issue. In my Discord channel, if you're not a member of Discord, it's totally free. It's not a money thing. But it's a chat platform that we use where we keep all of our information and conversations about this case, including every single legal document I get my hands on goes into that Discord server so we can look at it and reference it, and you can have access to them. So if you're looking for any documents, including Ian's statement that he put into that laptop that Natalie found, that's a very incriminating, very powerful
because it's
piece
not
of evidence.
Hearsay. It's not hearsay anymore.
Right. So all of that is in there. So the mods will be dropping links regularly through Discord. There's a link in the description. You can come join it. I know it may be a new computer program that people aren't, they don't know how to use or afraid to learn, but we'll help you figure it out. It's really not hard. And that's where all the information we get goes so that we can crowdsource our investigation into this. So there you go. Check
Guys,
out
if Awen can walk me through it, believe me. Because I'm as challenged as you can get when it comes to this stuff, man. So, yeah, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
No, it is easy to use. Very easy to use.
Let's see. What's the next thing we need to go on to here?
There's some people in chat that want you to reintroduce the panel for the people who were at the beginning.
I'm sorry, what?
Thanks, Jess. I was going to just say that.
There's people in the chat that want you to reintroduce the panel.
Okay.
Here at the beginning.
Let's do that. Very first, to my side right here, Miss Jess Nelson. She is my sister. She is a mod here. She's also a mod over on Paul's channel, reporting live from my sofa, which is our sister channel. We work very closely with Paul, and we all adore him. Jess and I have been growing closer and closer for over a year now with our following the true crime. She's brilliant, funny, smart, and I trust her with my life and my children's lives because I'm mailing her my daughter in exchange for some donuts. So there you go.
Our kids mean a lot to her.
Next on the side of Jess, we have Stormy with a Chance of Rainbows. I have known Stormy just about as long. We are also very, very close friends. She's very dear to me. She's one of the mods here on the channel, and she's also in Discord, and you can find her. She lives in Ireland, which I'm just like, just call me and read me the newspaper. I just want to listen to your voice.
I know.
That's all I need to hear.
I love you.
But she is a wonderful woman, and she's very accessible. Whenever you need someone to talk to, Stormy is one of the first people always around. So a very valued member of the community. So get to know Stormy. Underneath Stormy, we have Kathy. Kathy is a new friend of ours. I've met her recently, and her and I have had some wonderful talks. And she's like my spirit grandma kind of thing. It's like, she's wonderful, smart and witty and funny and really invested in this case.
She has a Frodo.
That happens. And she has Frodo. Her ESA is Frodo and a beautiful dog. So get to know Kathy as well. And then next to Kathy, last but definitely not least, we have Scott, another new member of our community who wanted to come on tonight and chat with you. Also heavily invested in this case and true crime all over the world. Scott has a really interesting background, military and law enforcement and stuff. So he brings a very unique perspective to some of the stuff we're talking about. So I'm thrilled to have Scott with us too. So that's our panel for tonight. And Rosie, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you, Rosie. Rosie and I have been getting to know each other too, and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much. So that's the panel for tonight. So what is our next big topic?
Ian.
Excuse me.
I want to talk about Ian.
Ian Pulaski. Okay, let's talk about Ian.
Where did that come from?
All right, Jess, you go. What?
When I first started reading it, I thought Ian was a plant. I thought maybe they knew about this crazy cult. I mean, where did he come from?
Across the street.
Yeah, I met him online on the dating app, and oh my gosh, he was really across the street. I didn't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving, so we got married. I mean, it's the stupidest story I've ever heard in my life.
All right, there is some information about Ian. that I have that I can't put out yet, really, because I have to do some more digging to verify. But I will tell you the gist of it. When you do background searches on people on the internet, it will usually come up with a list of known friends and associates. All right. I did a background search of someone who passed away in 1998. So a long time ago. All right. And one of the people listed as this person's friend is Ian Pulowski. The person that I'm talking about is Stacy Cope, which is Melanie Pulowski's mother. Yep. How did that happen? Whoa. I don't know if this is a computery glitch or what, but his name coming up on that search is one of the most suspicious things I've found so far. I cannot verify it. I don't know why it happened, but I'm digging. And if I come up with a connection between Ian and Stacy, there we go.
Yep. I've done a background search on my ex-husband because I'm trying to figure out where the heck he is. And I'm shown as a link to him. And it shows that my possible friends are people that I do not know from his side of stuff. Could they have linked him because she's listed on the marriage certificate?
Could be, yep.
Possibly, because I get calls from my second husband. Someone's trying to process serve his mother, and I haven't been married to the idiot in 25 years. But they're calling me because they want to get a hold of his mother.
Because how old was Melanie when Stacy died? And her
weren't she like 5 or 6?
She was very young.
There's no way he could be friends with her mom.
Awen,
6.
Do you remember when the FBI put the word out asking for photos from people who were in the park that day?
Yes.
Did you happen to see any of the photos that were posted before the FBI and the law enforcement retracted?
I did. Are you talking about the one with the extra car in it? Right behind the truck? Yes.
And I don't want to speculate or anything like that.
I know.
But let's just remember that one. I'm going to speculate a little bit. He's involved. He's involved far more than than he's letting on or anybody else.
Yes, it's certainly
much
possible.
Like Melanie Pulowski. I mean,
yeah.
And
he also has a history, a criminal history, sort of. Rob Wood was a prosecutor in a domestic violence case involving Ian Pulowski. That charges were dismissed. Please, that's very important. So I don't know what happened. I cannot see the actual documents of that case. All I can see is the hearing notices and stuff like that. So Ian Pulowski is not unknown to Rob Wood.
Right.
So, there's some history there too.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what happened or why the charges were dismissed, but it's there. And Brandon is bringing that up. He has put that as one of his items of evidence in the custody hearing. So that will come out in that hearing before family court, at least. So.
Right.
But how crazy is that? You get married and then you decide to wear a wire and then you tell your new wife that you're writing all this stuff down and you're wearing a wire. I mean, that is so weird. I mean, that's stupid right there. I can't believe that they're still together. That is just so weird.
He wasn't there when God gave out brains.
Well, Jess, you got to wonder. And I've wondered this right from the get-go. What would make a man do that? What would make a man agree to wear a wire against spouse and then tell her? And I wonder if they're not big on, I'll bring you into it. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. I'll tell them you were into this as far as everybody. I mean, I could see Melanie saying that to him, or Chad. Don't even think about turning on me because I'll tell him you knew everything. And that man going, oh, shit. Pardon my French. Sorry about that. And going, I'm wearing a wire, honey. Do you see what I'm saying? We'll never know what was said in closed doors, but I don't know what makes a man do that. I mean, if you're wearing a wire, you obviously have concerns and worries. Mm-hmm. Why he didn't turn around and go back to the FBI instead of her and say, look, I'm not going to wear this anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think somebody said something to him or found out. Maybe she found it and said, what's this? And he went, do you know what happened to Charles? Do you remember what happened to Tammy? I'll tell you what, I'm a soldier, like she said. I mean, that would have scared the hell out of me. Not enough to turn on the FBI, but you understand what I'm saying. We don't know.
Right.
And if he is involved,
like who is he flipping for? I mean, did he give the FBI really good information, or did she find out really fast and be like, "Listen, this is what we're going to feed him," so that I look pretty easy? You just don't
I
know.
have to interrupt for 1 minute. First, we've got Jack over here who wants to say hi. Here's the camera.
Hi,
Say
Jack.
Hi, Annie. Right, that's
Oh,
what we
I'm
did.
sorry, Frodo. I said hi to
Oh.
a cat.
But we have two things. First, Little Lady Di, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Oh, and Amy Gibbs just sends us too. She says, Ains' dating profile says, women into doomsday cults, love family, and they turn into zombies. Long walks on the beach. Before 722. Excellent. Excellent. Also, Sam Stonebrenner.
So whimsy and dramatic.
Sam, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. So let it quiet down for a sec. All right, Sam Stonebrenner, thank you so much for your comment. You are the third winner tonight. You win a Teespring t-shirt from my Teespring account of your choosing. Any size, shape, color, logo, whatever you want. The link to my Teespring is in the description below. So go there, tell me what you want, and email me, and I will get it straight to you. Thank you so much for being such a valued member of this community. Now, Hawaii to Hoenn, can you hear me? You were just in the back. You were just backstage, and now you disappeared. I was just about to add you to the chat. So if you come back, I will add you back in. So I don't know why you disappeared.
I like long walks down the makeup aisle. Is that count?
Brilliant.
That would be my new one.
Did Ian know Chad before he met Melanie? Has that come out? Because for some reason I'm thinking it had.
It had. I don't think it's come out. I've heard rumors that they did, but I don't know for sure. Jack, honey.
Look,
It was rumored. I haven't seen anything in actual proof form, but the speculation has been rampant.
Right.
I'll tell you, wouldn't it be great to be going through an old USB or something on, plug it into and see a picture of like the whole slew of them all arm in arm and smiling and go, ooh.
Yes, it will.
Because it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all.
And where did Zulema come from? I mean, we don't know where he came from. Where did Zulema come from?
I believe Zulema is connected through Dr. Nelson and Julie Rowe, and that's how she met Chad and Lori, but Lori first. So I have to iron all that down with dates and times and places and this, but that's my theory so far of where she came from.
She was handpicked for Alex, like Ian was handpicked for Melanie, and David was probably handpicked for the other Melanie. They just haven't gotten around to it yet because everything broke.
Maybe he doesn't have life insurance high enough to marry her yet.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What have they? Does anybody know where she's at? Have they like?
Yeah.
She's
still.
The authorities know where she is, and there was a YouTuber who tracked her down, which I don't think is so cool, but whatever.
No.
Yeah.
But we know where she is, and I'm sure law enforcement is keeping very close ties on her. So.
Yes.
I wonder if they had her wear a wire for Alex. I wonder if the FBI got to her first.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All
right, so can we talk about Julie Rowe?
Oh, God.
Oh, dear Lord. Can I bless her little heart, too?
Yes.
I can't with her. I just can't.
I'm going to turn this over to the panel for a second because my husband just got home. I need 2 minutes to go talk to him. But, Jess, you want to start off? What do you think about Julie Rowe?
Anybody that goes on Nancy Grace and can't stay on there without her rolling her eyes cannot be credible in any form of courtroom anywhere. I mean, I wouldn't even give her a kangaroo report. That woman, it's like she wants to be in the clique and nobody's interested.
Nobody wants her, and she's brokenhearted because she's not getting attention.
It's crazy. I mean,
she goes and whines that I got 3 minutes of airtime after doing hours of interviews.
Yeah. Oh my God, I gave them all this time, which after she did her stupid live stream in her car, I'm not talking to anybody. If they want to know whatever I know, they can just watch me talking to you. That's all the information that I have. And then she releases that thing about, I've done 30 hours of interviews and they only put 3 minutes. And it was like, I'm surprised anybody gave you 3 minutes.
Hey, Jess.
Or Lacey.
Jess, could I just take 2 seconds out to bring up Ruth Ann's little comment down there on the bottom? I could say from what I know with A and all the other people on this panel and stuff, they are very much
Yes.
judgmental people, especially when it comes to religion and things like that. So you're welcome on behalf of Awen and the staff here, the panel, for standing up for LDS people. We know that you guys aren't like the group that's out there. We know that.
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you, Jess.
I'm the troll catcher. If I catch you in chat, like down in any religion whatsoever, it's gone. When we don't post them.
Yep.
I mean, it's nothing to argue about. The LDS Church was smart enough to excommunicate most of these yahoos.
Can I just say one little phrase about Julie Rowe, and then I'll leave it up to the rest of you guys. Energy weapons. Enough said. I right there. I mean, I'm sorry. How can anybody take anything that comes out of your mouth after you say things like that? Seriously. Yeah.
I asked my husband, we are on a tight budget. I am on disability. I don't have extra money to spend. I asked him how he would feel if I took $130 to take her webinar, and he said he would pay for it if I wanted to do it. And I thought, I can't listen to her voice. I listened to one podcast. It was on Denise's channel.
Yeah.
And I cannot with her. I can't listen to her. But my cheapo husband was willing to pay $130 for an hour session with her.
Yeah. The guy that she's always talking to whenever she does her little car interview things, I don't think he can stand her.
No, I don't think he can either.
Times he's like, okay, you just went down that rabbit trail for 30 minutes. Now you answer the question I actually asked you. I mean, it's just, she's crazy.
He can't get a word in edgewise with her.
Sorry, there's whack balls and there's whack balls, and I call it like I see it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Talking about energy weapons and things like that. I mean, you're out in left field, and nothing.
Awen and I have talked about it. I just cannot. I was going to do a deep dive. She warned, don't go down that rabbit hole.
Deep dive.
I tried. I can't.
No,
I just cannot with her.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
He's charging $130 for what is it, an hour?
1 hour
Right.
of energy.
He's charging $130 for this energy course. You couldn't pay me $130 to sit there and listen to her.
I picture the government standing back going, $130 a pop, huh? I didn't do that on their taxes.
I bet you Nancy Grace will pay it.
Good
Lord. I can't with her either.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She left us with the wrong topic to speak and disappeared because I had nothing to say about Julie Rowe other than my opinion. She's out there. That woman needs to have therapy. She really does.
I really hope she's not on the witness list because I think she's a complete zero.
Absolutely.
I don't think
she's a wannabe.
I don't think that Daybell ever hit on her. Like,
no.
Exactly. I find it easy to believe he hit on Melanie G. I find that easy to believe. I would find it easy to believe he hit on Melanie P. I would find it easy to believe that obviously he hit on Lori. Julie Rowe, no, that's just her standing out in the playground going, hey, I'm over here. Can I be part of the group? What do I have to do? Chad, what do I have to do?
Yeah. So a little history on Julie Rowe. A little bit of her background. She was an author. She wrote a very popular book about her near-death experience and people she met on the other side of the veil, including Moses and friends.
And they didn't even want her to stay.
Preparing a people did have her some of their events, but she was never a mainline type contributor. Right, so she was always struggling to get in with the in crowd, and I think she really tried to get in with Chad for that reason. Now, when her book was published, it was extremely popular, but the LDS Church, right, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, actually notified their seminary and their teachers not to use her book in their teachings because it was in opposition of LDS doctrine. All right. Now, as a result, she had some things to say about the church that they didn't think were too kindly. And she was eventually excommunicated from the Mormon Church, citing her use of priestcraft in her podcasts, books, and websites. So the LDS Church is not a fan of Julie Rowe either. And her story, when this first all broke, of course, she was very defensive of Chad, or in defense of Chad and Lori. Chad is wonderful. He's the next Messiah, blah, blah, blah. He can do no wrong. Of course, the kids are safe. I've seen that the kids are safe, yada, yada, yada. Crazy stuff. But a second that they discovered the remains in his yard, she's on Nancy Grace crying that he was sexually harassing her and this and that. And I'm like, lady.
Shame on Nancy Grace. Seriously, I don't watch her. I don't think I've ever watched her other than the little shots on YouTube and stuff. Got to tell you, if I met that woman in person face to face, I'd look at her and say, shame on you. How do you look in the mirror? How do you look in the mirror every day? Shame on you.
Yep.
There, that's my part on that. That's all I have to say.
I mean, if you think about, like, even if you try to tie her to the case in any way, shape, or form, she saw the kids through the veil. She never met the kids. She's never met Lori. She hadn't talked to Chad in how many months. She was emailing him, trying to get, I mean, just crazy stuff.
She was stalking him.
That's not enough. Then she's having conversations with Tammy through the. I mean, that's the goofiest thing I've ever heard. I talked to Tammy. Tammy is so happy. She's in high spirits. I thought, she's dead. Of course she's in high spirits. Like, how crazy. And then she's tied to Emma. She's friends with Emma, who's really who will stand and stick her tongue out. I mean, she's like 13.
Yeah, there's a lot of background. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, no, I was going to say, you know my background. I'm not going to put it out here on public. You and I discussed it earlier, where I've come from, what I've been through. I have a question, and obviously I must have done something wrong at some point in my life, because any visions or anything like that come to me when I had my experience. And I feel like I missed out on the ride or something here. These people all seem to have near-death experiences and talk to people. Where does all, other than insanity, is this part of their religious beliefs in that group? I mean, is this like their foundation that near-death experiences, past lives? Do we know any really serious background of what their group is like and what the foundations are? And
now this is something that I get into usually more on Patreon, so it's not quite so public because I don't want to offend anyone. But we have to look, as uncomfortable as it is, we have to look at the foundation of some of their beliefs that do come from the Mormon Church. All right, the Mormon Church is very big on prophecy and the veil and the end times. Those are core parts of the LDS doctrine. However, what Chad and Lori, etc., did with those core beliefs is absolutely crazy and not at all what the church teaches.
So they corrupted them totally.
Right. There are prophecies and revelations you can find within the LDS Church. However, the church says that you cannot go out and prophesy just because you feel like it. The only people allowed to do that are the prophets within the church, right? They're mandated, or they're ordained to do that through the church itself, not just anyone who shows up. Right. So there are a lot of restrictions on that and what the church will publish. But Julie Rowe and Chad and all of these other authors, they just go off and do their own thing. So it has a seed from the Mormon Church, but the tree that they grew from that seed is absolute crazy.
And before anybody goes off on AWIN or anything like that, I am not familiar with the LDS Church that much. So she is educating me so that I don't make stupid comments and things like that. Thank you for educating me, AWIN. I appreciate that.
Doesn't the LDS Church, they don't believe in women doing that anyway? It's all men. All the prophets are men. I mean, the women aren't allowed to do that anyway. I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the LDS Church would never let a woman stand up in the pulpit and do that.
Right. Let's say hello to Hawaii to Hoenn.
Hawaii.
How are you doing? I love the flower in your hair.
Hi,
That's
Hawaii.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Happy end of the
I ran out
world
here
day.
to sit in my car. I ran out here to sit in my car because we're talking about Julie Rowe.
I thought I was going to say Julie Rowe. That's excellent.
Hold a second here, though, so I'm going to hurry and jump out. Sorry. Sorry, the swear words.
No swear words allowed.
No swear words. The very first thing. Oh.
Did you have a good end of the world day?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
Yes, I'm still having it. It's only 2:44 here, so we're doing great.
Sorry, I'm just reading chat. So yeah, we talked about Julie Rowe. We've talked about the current court proceedings. Are there any questions anyone in chat has about the case? We have 6 people up on panel who have been studying this case day in and day out for months now. So if you've got questions, this is a great time to ask.
We might actually answer them.
Possible.
Maybe.
That is going. I do not know how to put slow mode on. I'm very sorry.
Awen, I'm going to step out there for a second and make myself a cup of coffee so I can keep going with you.
Okay, great. Yeah,
How do
I'm
we
gonna
see
take a
chat from
quick
in
break
here?
too. I'll be back.
Okay.
You know, I don't see any questions popping up yet. Anyway, so I'm going to ask one because I've been curious about this from the get-go, especially after the 2 billboards.
Messing with the bandwidth.
How come there wasn't more of a put out there in the public about 2 children who had gone missing?
Well, what they did, remember when the law enforcement showed up at Lori's apartment on November 26th, right, to look for JJ, because they had gotten a call from Kay Woodcock, JJ's maternal grandmother.
Right.
And they didn't find him, and they got strange stories, so they were suspicious. They tried to call Melanie Gibb, and everything kind of went a little strange, so they came back on the 27th. Right, to try to actually serve a search warrant.
Yep.
And what they found led them to say something's really wrong here. And it wasn't until I think December 20th was the first public statement about the children are missing. So they spent 20 days ish trying to figure out if this is a problem or not. And
But they were gone, right?
And once they were, and law enforcement said and I believe in that description about the kids, it did say, we do believe they are in danger. I was on the East Coast up in Connecticut at the time. I hadn't heard anything about it. I looked at it, and that's when I started picking up the case. I'm like, how come there are 2 kids missing? And when I go in CNN or Fox or I don't see that as a headline, man. That's 2 minors that have disappeared. It just blew me away. I just wonder if things would have went more rapidly, or maybe possibly that group would have pulled back a little bit had that been plastered everywhere. Where, earlier and sooner and with much more force. Just curious. I found that very interesting that it wasn't. I mean, you look at Gannon Stalk. I mean, when he disappeared, that was like, bam, that was all over. I talked to my kids and neighbors and friends about JJ and Tylee, just after all of that made the news. And they're like, huh? What? Who? What? And I'm like, you haven't heard of this? There's 2 kids missing and you guys don't know. I found that very, very odd and unique.
Well,
Jess, what were you going to say?
Lori was missing, right? The next day when they came back.
Yep.
With the search warrant that she was already gone, right?
Yep.
The next day, yeah. I think the difference is they didn't file a missing persons report. She only asked for a wellness check on JJ. I think that's why it wasn't faster.
Yeah, but when they went to do the wellness check and they booted out after saying he was with somebody else, and we all know now that he wasn't. I can't believe that, billboards weren't put up everywhere. Do you see what I'm saying? 2 billboards. And when I say billboards, I mean billboards, headlines, even just if it was for the next month or 2 months. It just might have brought more public, you know what I'm saying, more of a public awareness, and maybe more answers and stuff would have come quicker and faster.
There's a ton of times in this case where law enforcement really let them slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, Jess. Wholeheartedly.
In multiple states.
Yeah. And along with Charles also. I mean, they dropped the ball very. And can we bring up the Tammy Daybell thing? I'm sorry. What coroner listens to a husband say, I'm sorry, my perfectly healthy, training for a marathon 49-year-old wife died in her sleep last night. I don't want an autopsy.
I don't know. That beats me too. That's crazy.
Yeah. When we look at the totality of the case, going back to Joseph Ryan's death, remember he was deceased in his home for a very long time before he was even discovered.
Yeah.
Nobody really seemed to raise an eyebrow about that.
Nope.
All right. And then we have Charles Vallow. We know Charles contacted the police himself many times saying, my wife is trying to kill me because she thinks I'm some Ned Schneider demon thing. Help. And they did nothing.
Exactly. And Charles was a proud man. For that man to ask anybody for help, I'm sure was not an easy thing for him to do. That man was terrified for himself.
And
even though
it's not a topic that we discuss here on this channel in specificity,
Mm-hmm.
We have seen the documents about the custody battle between Joseph and Lori and all of that. And there's so much information in there that makes you wonder, how did anyone connected to any of these people be allowed to have custody of these children? Any of them, you know? So the amount of times when law enforcement it's easy for us to say now they dropped the ball. Back then, you know, they were seeing things very differently, but you have to ask that, because it seems that all of this, maybe Joseph Ryan wasn't avoidable because there wasn't a lot of history behind that. But from Charles forward, all 5 other deaths seem that they could have absolutely been prevented if anybody believed Charles from day one. None of the rest would have died. That's my belief.
Not just law enforcement, just looking at the kids and some of the custody stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Foster should have snatched Tally years ago, and they dropped it too. I mean, it's just so many different agencies and people, and I wonder if Charles had filed like emergency custody for JJ, if it would have made a difference. You know?
Did Charles actually? I mean, in his paperwork and stuff with his attorney, because I know, you know, it's been said that you know, even his lawyer, he told his lawyer, you know, if anything happens to me, you know, it was Lori and Alex. Yeah. Did that attorney ever go to the authorities with that? I mean, you know, as an attorney, if I read that, I'd be like, whoa, man, come on, we're going down to the police department, you know?
He had just dropped the divorce filings from Lori too. He still loved Lori. I mean,
yes, he did. He tried to help her just as much as the kids. Yes, I agree, Jess. That poor man.
Sure that made them look at it. Oh yeah, this week she's crazy. Next week he wants her back. You know, that could have tainted a lot of it.
Sad. Yeah. Perfect storm, I guess is the best way to put it. This whole thing culminated in a perfect storm.
It really did. You know, and so a lot of people in chat are asking, who else is going to get charged or all this stuff. We have no idea. Yeah. We have no idea what's coming down the road. I know what I hope to see. I hope to see a lot of charges. Certainly conspiracy charges with some of the people that knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, that. And somebody asked a very good question in chat regarding Melanie Gibb. Let's go back to her for a second. She said, all right, what if Melanie Gibb wouldn't have come forward? What if she didn't come forward and we didn't know any of this? But I'll come back to you with that and say, remember that after the police went to Lori's apartment on the 26th, Chad and Lori both called Melanie and said, we're telling law enforcement that JJ is with you. So when they call you, please tell them that, right? So what if she hadn't come forward? What if she had told the police, yeah, JJ's here with me. Okay, go away now. The police would not have just accepted that. They would have wanted to get eyes on JJ. Yes. What if the police had then discovered that Melanie Gibb had lied and she was part of this? She would be in jail right now, too, right next to Chad and Lori with this conspiracy charge. That is the only reason Melanie Gibb came forward.
That completely whitewashes it because she did not come forward. They had to chase her.
She didn't, technically. You're right.
I agree with that. She did not come
Chad,
10 days, wasn't it?
What happened? And he said, no, you don't want to know what happened.
Yeah.
That's not a good person.
No. And 10 days is a long time to come up with an alibi and come up with answers for questions you know are going to be asked.
And even when she interviewed with Nate, she never once mentioned that David was there.
Yep.
She hasn't come forward and said why she dropped her husband and kids out of in the middle of all this.
You're absolutely right.
Has she run back and asked them to forgive her that she can't believe she was so duped and deceived by Chad and Lori? Or is she still ignoring that she has kids and a husband? I mean, I don't know if their divorce is final or whatever. I mean, we don't know.
Children seem inconsequential in this whole thing. Like, nobody really cares about the kids. It's all about the grown-ups and what they want and what they want to do, and the kids mean nothing.
No. I mean, you know they don't. For her to have set up Charles to be killed by Alex while her children were there tells you everything you need to know about Lori.
Yep.
And the comments about Melanie going on in chat. Let's just remember for the facts of what happened. The police tried to call Melanie Gibb on the 26th after Chad and Lori said that JD was with them. She didn't answer the phone for quite a while. I think eventually, late on the evening of the 26th, she answered the phone and said, no, JJ's not here. But that's all she told to them. It took David Warwick 10 days to convince her to go talk to detectives. Now, that's David Warwick saying this. We don't know what really happened between them. But she sat on everything that she knew for 10 straight days before sitting down with authorities. She didn't willingly go running to them, say, help, there's trouble. No, they chased her down. She realized she could probably be in a lot of trouble. And then she came clean 10 days later.
It wasn't until the Arizona police were brought in that she came forward at all.
She
ignored the Idaho police.
She said right on. Go ahead, Jess.
She hadn't said anything. She knew that she looked guilty, that if she didn't say anything, just the evidence of she was at their house the night JJ disappeared, and Chad and Lori both called her, you would automatically think she had a part of it.
Now, my first question to her after the interview where she said, yeah, as soon as Chad said that, I got that feeling in my stomach. Why didn't you call 911 right then?
Right.
I would have asked her. I mean, and there you go. There's where she becomes clearly.
In that same interview,
you know what I'm saying?
she just talks about how sad it is that Lori can't be with Chad.
Yeah, strange.
Well, in her interviews, I came forward. I needed to make sure. Bull.
Yeah.
I don't have a lawyer. I didn't do anything wrong.
It's terrible.
Why would I need a lawyer if I'm innocent?
You're going to need a lawyer before it's over with.
Yeah. Now, Ron Lee asked an interesting question in chat. Didn't Alex go to jail for attempted murder before he killed Charles? Yes, he did. Alex Cox was arrested for assaulting Joseph Ryan, Lori's second husband. He assaulted him with a taser. And whether that was attempted murder or not, I forget the exact charge. He only went to jail for 90 days, so I don't think it was attempted murder. Just assault. Right, 90 days in jail. Eventually, he was put on parole and had a $5,000 fine. But so when we're talking about Charles's murder, we have to remember if they had ran Alex's record, they would have seen, hey, this guy assaulted his sister's other husband too. This is a problem.
He's a felon.
Oh,
Let's ask him some more questions.
No, he wasn't a felon.
It wasn't a felon?
Wasn't a felon.
No, it was a misdemeanor.
That's why it did not matter that he had the gun when he shot Charles.
Okay.
He could have one because he was not a felon. He had a concealed carry permit for the gun that he had. Whether or not he should have, but that he was legally able to have that. That's why it wasn't a big deal.
Perfect storm.
They could have asked a few more questions because Mr. Dazed and confused with a baseball bat outside on the curb was not answering questions any way, shape, or form.
No, he wasn't.
That made any kind of sense.
And I do like that he admitted, straight up that he did manage to egress to a safe area, and he proceeded to leave that area rather than call 911 and try to defuse.
And Charles, first of all, the way that they said it happened, holding the baseball bat in the wrong hand.
Yep.
And if he had hit him with a baseball bat, I believe what I read was he was athletic. He would not have been up talking. He would have been knocked out.
Wasn't he a semi-pro baseball player?
I'm not going to say 100% sure but I thought that's what I read.
There's no way half of that story is true. I don't think Tolly or JJ actually saw anything. I don't think because Lori tried to protect him or anything, but later on it was said that Lori told JJ that Charles killed himself, and it was like weeks later, there's some comment from his teacher at a school that said how upset he was. If he'd seen Charles shot that day, he could.
Well, yeah, because she told the police, I can't tell him because of his condition. And
I don't think Tally saw it either, though. From the body cam footage, I don't think she was.
Did you read the transcripts? that are in Discord.
Lori fed her. Yeah, it's been a while though. I
just read them yesterday or the day before. I don't remember today. And Tylee's story kept changing. Like they were trying to pin her down. Where were you? Well, I was here. No, I was here, and this is how I was holding it, and that's how it happened. And I went outside to take care of my brother because my mom told me to.
And where's Melanie giving all that? She was told the day before Charles was supposed to die in a car accident on his way over from Texas. That they all knew he was a zombie. He was going to die on that day.
Hey, and who called Alex and asked him to go to the house? Because you got Melanie Gibbs saying that Lori did it, and you got Summer saying, "Nah, I did it." Somebody's lying.
Crazy.
Well, because Lori was so afraid, like she told the police, I was so afraid he would do something.
I wonder if they fingerprinted the bat. Probably not, but I'd be curious to know whose prints were on that. Or if it was wiped clean.
Prints on a bat. I don't think the bat was ever used.
I don't either. I mean, if it was, then they...
No, it was used.
Was obviously hit the head with something.
I believe Alex had a little bump on his head. Had he been hit with that bat, he would have been knocked out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I am off camera because with the COVID thing going on, when my husband comes home from work, he has to go straight to the shower. And I don't want any accidents while he's walking around looking for clothes.
Come on. So. Get a different name than the arm, I'll tell you that.
Jess.
Oh, goodness. But Emily put up a comment that Grey Hat Jen asked about a movie with, well, it's not Alex. It would be Asen J. Almay, the man who must not be named. He was in a movie called Speak No Evil. It is a movie about children and zombies and demons. And it is, first, it's a terrible movie. It's not even a good movie. But the content, the subject matter of the movie is horrifying, given what we know happened, right? So, yes, Asen J. Almay was involved in the production, and I believe he actually had a part in the movie. I only watched a few minutes of it because it was terrible. But if you want to see it, you can find it somewhere online, because I know I saw part of it, called Speak No Evil. You can look it up on IMDb as well. And there you go. The background of that movie, knowing that this person was involved with Chad and Lori, and although he has come out and said, I didn't know them, blah, 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 blah. There are podcasts. You can go listen to it right now on Denise's channel of Jason and Melanie and Lori, and, talking about how they all love each other so much because they're just so wonderful.
That's the one I heard where Melanie sounded so intelligent.
Chad told the police he didn't know Lori, and they were already married.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, speak no evil. That is like that could be the tagline of this whole case, except it's hear no truth, say no truth, know no truth. I mean, they're all crazy. Yep. They're all crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Grey Hat Jen has another comment. They mentioned him at the police station when Lori and Melanie and Tylee were at the police station because Lori was reporting that Charles stole her purse out of her car. So the three of them go down to the police station. Melanie Gibb is talking to one of the officers, and she just starts throwing out Jason's name. And, I pulled over by the side of the road, and who did I see there? I couldn't believe it. It was Jason. He's my cop friend. He's a cop. His name is Jason. He's a cop. Mm-hmm. He's police. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Law enforcement. Mm-hmm. My friend Jason. He's wonderful. Yeah. I'm like, why would you be throwing his name into this mix? What on earth is the purpose for that? I don't understand it. To this day, I don't understand why she did that. But you don't do that if you don't know someone.
And maybe she knew that even though he got fired, I would not be surprised if the whole entire police department was scared to death of him. He's one scary guy.
Nothing happened,
So maybe saying his name is like, if you mess with us, you're going to see him.
It's crazy.
That's just speculation, of course. I do not have fact on that. But
yep.
I just keep seeing him LARPing on the weekend as Captain Macaroni or whatever.
Yep.
That's crazy. Now that's where I would expect to see Julie Rowe pop up. She seemed like she could do that on the weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
Or energy weapons.
Jason Mao isn't someone that I'm covering on this channel because there's a lot of history to him. Oh, I think my husband's dressed. Okay, there's a lot of history to him, and he's not somebody's attention. I don't want his attention at all.
No.
So, but if you want to know about him, just Google Time to Warrior Up. You'll get his website. You'll get all of his videos. You'll get his books, and you can find out a little bit more about who Jason Mao is.
Have fun with that.
It's worth
And then
looking
delete
at.
your entire internet history and take out your hard drive and make sure there is no trace that you ever looked for him.
Definitely.
That's how much he scares
me. Yeah. All right, so we've been on here for 2 hours. I'm going to say goodbye to our panel guests and then have a few minutes to say goodbye to everyone in chat and just to have our last hurrah for the end of the world. Because, midnight's coming. It could still happen, right? We got to be prepared, guys. But thank you.
You're all good. It's 2 a.m. here in Ireland.
Oh, my goodness.
23rd. Okay, we're good. We have passed.
Excellent. Yay.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Hey,
we're safe.
Before we sign off completely and stuff like that, can you give me the link to Live from the Sofa? Because I'd love to be involved with that tonight.
Oh, yes. All the mods that are on channel, if you could put a link to Paul's channel, Reporting Live from My Sofa. He's going live at 10 o'clock tonight, Eastern Time. Okay, so just in a couple hours. He had to work 12 hours today. He's just about getting home from work right now. So poor guy has had a beast of a day, but he's still going to do a live stream because he wants to talk to everyone, too, about what's going on. So please join us all. I'm sure most of us will be over there talking to Paul. So if you can stay up a little bit later, let's go to Paul's channel. But I want to thank all the panel for being on. Jess, you're my sister. I love you with all my heart. Stormy, thank you so much. Without you, I don't know how I've gotten this far. I adore you. Scott, it has been such a great pleasure meeting you. I can't wait till we can sit and talk some more.
My honor and privilege, seriously, and I hope you'll have me back.
Absolutely. We had a great time talking today. And Kathy, I love you. You're so sweet. And
I love you too, lady.
Thank you for bringing Frodo on. Frodo's so wonderful.
He's our mascot. Paul's got Roscoe. We got Frodo.
All right, guys. I'll let you sign off. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee. Stay healthy, everybody out there. Healthy and safe. The world is a wacky place right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Just before we finish up with you, Ewan, I want to say congratulations to you on 3,000 subs.
3,000.
I think you're amazing. You're one of the most wonderful people that I know. I love you dearly. You have been the most constant, honest person in my life. And I wouldn't be without you. I genuinely wouldn't. And what you're doing here, you've broken through your comfort zone. You've done something very difficult for you, taking up what Denise left behind. And we're all feeling that she's around us. Every time you go live, I have this feeling that Denise's energy is around us. I'm a woman of science, and energy cannot be destroyed. She is here with us. She is around us. And I think you're amazing for carrying this on for her. She will live on through you every single day. And I think you're a wonderfully strong woman to be able to do this, because I know it hasn't been easy. And I wanted to congratulate you for everything that you've achieved. We're so proud of you. Really.
Thank you so much.
So proud.
But like even this magic cup that Jess and I have says, it's not the journey, it's who you meet along the way. And I would not be right here now for not all the people like you who have entered my life and enriched it in ways I never thought possible. And that's priceless. And Denise is with all of us, and she's part of the glue that brought all of us together too. So, yep, we're all here for reasons.
She has to be here because I didn't even know her, and I feel like I did because of all of you.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna say goodnight to the panel. I have some announcements for the channel and stuff, so stay tuned. 5 more minutes, and then we can. I'll go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. So good night, Jess. Good night, Stormy. Good night, Kathy. Thank you all for being here. All right, there we go. Okay, so just a few minutes. You know what I'm gonna do? Just because, Linda, if you're here, you might want to look away because I know this makes you cry. It makes me cry too, but let's do it. It is the end of the world party. Oops, that's the wrong one. Hold on. It should be in my green screen. There we go. Let me get rid of that so we can see. Close that. No, stop it. All right, I am having some trouble with my. What did I do? Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, there we go. All right, can you see that? That is Denise. She's sitting next to me. Put some hearts in chat for Denise. She's definitely she would have been live all day today celebrating that the end of the world did not come. And the reason we're here is because of her. That woman touched my life in ways that I can never express or be thankful enough for. And I know many of you in chat here are feeling the same thing. She was a friend. If you came across her world, if you entered her orbit, she was your best friend. That's just it. She had the time and the energy and the heart to be friends to everyone she met. And she cared so much for JJ and Tylee and getting justice for them. And I think that she has a hand in everything that's happening right now. So, Denise, I love you. I'm sorry. But I'm really thinking about her today. I really am, because I miss her a lot. But I also feel like she's literally sitting right next to me right now. You know that tone of voice that you should, hey, when you're being such a dumbass, stop it. I can hear her telling me that. It's like, don't cry, dumbass. This is a live stream. I can hear it. I can feel it. And I just love her so much. So, yeah, she is here with us. Oh, anyway, I need to change it because it is making me cry. And that's not how I want to end our live stream today. There we go. Oh, wait, no, let's use this one. There we go. Whew. I do not own waterproof mascara, so, Denise would be yelling at me for doing that right now. But she is, she's my heart and soul, and she's why a lot of us are here. So we had to do that. Well, because she is cheering us on right now, because she is so happy it wasn't the end of the world, too. So, all right. So some announcements. For everyone that won a giveaway tonight, please make sure to email me. That is the only way I have to get in touch with you. You can't do messages or YouTube friends or anything like that anymore. So the only way that I can get things to you is if you email me, awinreesepodcast@gmail.com. The link is in the description of every video I have. So if you can't find it, just go to any video, or if you're in Discord, I can send it to you right there. So please reach out so I can make sure and get you your prizes tonight, because that means a lot to me to be able to give back to the community. I want to thank everybody so much for being here. I have had the time of my life with growing this channel, and what we've accomplished in just a month and a half has been unbelievable. I am stunned with how fast we've grown, and our community is just, I cannot be more proud of this community, and how every single person here has just been fantastic. So I'm so thankful. Gratitude is my middle name for all of you. Thank you for being here. So, I mean, I'm not rich. I can't give out $100 gift cards to everyone in chat yet. Maybe someday, if I can, I will. I just want to give something back to say thank you, because you're making this experience for me so much easier and so much worthwhile. Because I do spend sometimes 12 hours a day doing research and making videos and stuff, because I don't know, you make me excited for it. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I got to go check on the case. So thank you. Thank you all. It means more to me than I could put into words. So please email me if you've got a prize tonight. We're going to do more parties as time progresses, so we'll do a lot more cool stuff like that. And please don't forget to sub to Paul, reporting live from my sofa. He is my dear friend. I adore Paul to no end. He's doing a live stream tonight and may pop on. I'm not sure yet. But Paul and I do some stuff together on our other channel, which we always advertise before we go live. And he's just a great guy. And he's so sad that he missed this tonight because he had to work. But, let's go be there for him too. And I have something stuck in the corner of my eye now. This is not comfortable. Glitter eyeshadow is dangerous, guys. I'm telling you. Ooh, careful with the glitters. But anyway, can you see the glitter? You couldn't really see it when I was small. But yeah, I just wanted to go full glam tonight to celebrate the fact that we're all still here. Chad and Lori were wrong. We're all fine. And Little Lady Di, thank you so much for the. And there were two other super chats that went up while I was crying for Denise. I can't see them now because YouTube took them off the screen. I am very sorry that I missed those. I'm very sorry. So thank you for those super chats. Those things, I know it just means a lot to me. It does. It helps me to keep doing this. It helps me know I'm on the right track. And I don't when I say thank you, that sounds so trite. My appreciation for every single person in this chat tonight is just, it's universal. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the live stream. Remember, there are a few more hours left in some parts of the world for the 22nd. I'm assuming you'll all be safe. There are some earthquakes happening, so maybe Zulema's getting a little riled up. You never know, so stay safe if you're on a fault line, please. Let's keep Zulema happy. So, yeah, you don't need the big one right now. But thanks to everyone who came on panel. I really appreciate it. It was so great to talk to people. I love doing that. So we're definitely going to be doing that again. All right, so I guess that's it. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. All right, don't let the end of the world get you. Mark yourself as safe on Facebook because let everyone know that we survived the apocalypse yet again. All right, so I'll be back with you tomorrow with daily update news on the case and everything else going. I guess I don't need these now anymore, do I? Yeah, daily news videos, anything that happens, I will come with you live. Join me on Discord. Follow me all over social media. Whatever, you can always find me. I'm accessible and I love talking. So go ahead and feel free to reach out. Sarah, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is so cute. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, I'm out, guys. I got to go talk to my husband. Poor guy's been home from work for 2 hours and I haven't got to say hi to him really yet. So I got to go see the guy. And I will see you later on at Paul's channel. There's a link to Paul's channel also in the description below. So see you there in just a couple hours. Thank you. Happy end of the world.